Well, guys, I certainly appreciate the comments you're posting there. There's the last video about the smug remarks and whatnot. And just like to say thank you to everyone. Certainly appreciate it. And based on your comments, this project will continue. We'll continue to work on with it. Um, Well, since I was last talking to you, or since last video on this 2AT or 2E26 transmitter, I couldn't get any RF output out of this thing whatsoever. And I was using those other inductors that let me see if I can get one here real quick. I was using, let me see, these guys. Yeah, these didn't work. She don't like those whatsoever. She pretty much spit them out. She don't want those. So I end up having to put a different, couple of different, actually 3 different inductors on this thing, underneath the chassis here. I also had to run another wire. This is like a 2-section capacitor here. And basically how it's supposed to work, supposed to have two variable capacitors that go across the coil here, right? So of course this is on one side of the coil, and this tuning capacitor is on the other side of the coil. And 2 of these are grounded, but the RF passes through them, whatever, floats on them, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, so I ended up changing 3 coils. One thing which is kind of odd, I'll bring it to your attention actually. On the circuit, pin 4, it says to ground pin 4. But I found that when I ground pin 4, the radio or the transmitter no longer transmitted any RF power whatsoever. It would do nothing. Just look at you. So I looked at my other transmitter, the 2E26 transmitter I made, and I didn't have pin 4 grounded on that one either. And as we know, that other 2E26 transmitter is working best kind. And this is the other, as you remember, that's the first 2E26 transmitter that I built. I get about 500 milliwatts out of this one. And one thing I did do, the first thing I swapped tubes. Because, I took the 2E26 that I found there last weekend. I put that in the other transmitter. And guess what? It works fine. So the 2E26 tube that I got last weekend is a working tube. And then I took the 2E26 tube that was in that transmitter and put it into this one, because I knew this tube worked, and still get no power. So anyway, I changed out the 3 inductors. I cut off the ground to pin 4, and now this is just acting as the transmit. But now if I ground it like so, I haven't got the meter hooked up yet. Now it transmits on the high end of the 160 meter amateur band, 1.911. So it's within the amateur band, 160 meter amateur band. Power output is like pretty noticeable, but it is there. Pretty low. Still got a lot of tuning around to do, I guess, with the changes on the circuit, whatever. But the transmitter is working. And I had it listening to a receiver. Had the RR5000 tuned to the 1.911 megahertz, and the frequency is stable. There's no drift whatsoever on that frequency, none. And I tuned up and down the band, went like 5 or 6 megahertz either way, and well, 5 megahertz up, I should say. And I didn't get any harmonic of the transmitter transmitting at all. Nothing. So I've yet to put it on the Motorola service monitor I got there, but we do have a heartbeat. It's about 50 milliwatts on 1.91182 megahertz, 1.9 megahertz, which is within 160 within the 160 meter amateur band. And yeah, so got that much working. So now if we can, now if I can figure out now how to boost the RF signal more, because I'm assuming it's got a lot to do now with, obviously, with the inductors and, you know, stuff I'm using here. Probably way out of spec what it needs. Obviously now it needs different type capacitors and whatever that boost this signal, boost RF a bit more. The coil probably got to be changed, whatever. So anyway, we'll play with it a little bit more, see what we come up with. And I want to get as much out of the transmitter as I can. Then we're going to play around with the 6AU6 tube right there, and we're going to see if we can drive some audio into this to put it in that 2E26 transmitter, or a tube. Jeez. Oh my. So I found one thing kind of interesting. I put the voltmeter on different parts of the circuit underneath, and the plate voltage, which is supplied by the power supply, directly to the plate, I get 115 volts DC. And on other parts of the circuit, I get 150 to 160 volts DC. I found that pretty interesting, actually. So kind of mind boggle a little bit how that's working. I guess that's because RF is floating there as well, I suppose. But yeah, boys, if you got any suggestions on what I can do to make this transmitter, you know, more interesting, whatever, what circuit changes we can do, I'll plug it. I'm certainly all ears. I'm just gonna turn her over here, let you have a look at the other side. Anyway, so the inductors I've changed. I changed this one out. I've changed this one. And there's another one here somewhere. Oh yes, right down there. So I've changed 3 of those inductors so far, and that's helped a lot. This one here, particularly, the one going to the plate, that one has to be a very specific inductance, because I tried putting that other inductor in there, and the plate would dissipate no RF energy whatsoever. So I'm figuring I'm going to have to play around a little bit with this inductor. I'm thinking that if I had the right type, or if I get the right value, or kind of zero in on the right value, I'm probably going to get more power being generated to the output of this thing. So I'm going to have to play around a little bit with this inductor, see what value I actually need here. But yeah, so pin 4 of the socket right here was this piece of wire. We'll ground it to pin 4, which is right there. If I grounded that, she would not transmit any RF energy whatsoever. So pretty cool. Anyway, that's the update on her. Like I say, I still got the meter to hook up and everything here, but right now I'm trying to get as much power out of this thing as I can. And it's probably going to be like, maybe if I can get this thing kind of working the way I need it, I might get like maybe half a watt, the same as the other transmitter, but we'll see. Anyway, that's the 2E26 update transmitter. So we'll say 7.3 for now, and yeah, we'll see what more we can get into. See if we can generate some more power. Alright folks, all the best. Sim 3. Renault 63. Out.